Hey everybody, this is Drew with the Travel Nurses Guide. Hope everybody's having a good week so far. I wanted to take this time to kind of explain everything that's been going on. To start with, a couple weeks ago I made a couple posts about something big was coming, and I was only able to share some of the details, but I promised everybody who commented that I would send them a private message with all the details, and I actually got super overwhelmed with all the interest. I had over 800 comments from people wanting more information. Comments were coming so fast, there's no way I could keep up with them. And it actually led to me getting blocked on Facebook. Which kind of led to everything coming to a screeching halt, and I had no clue how to work around that. So I actually got kind of discouraged with it because I had no clue how to address this problem and how to share the news with everybody. So to start out with, I'd really like to apologize for all those people who commented showing interest, wanting more details, and I just simply was not able to send you that private message. So I am very sorry for that. However, I do want to create this video to take the time to really share what the big news is, answer all your questions, and hopefully make you a deal at the end of this. So like I said, I was really discouraged because I do truly feel like I have created something that is going to help out so many travel nurses, especially new travel nurses, because I've been in your shoes. I really struggled as a new travel nurse. I lost lots of money and potential income, which I'm going to kind of explain a little bit more in just a minute. Before I give you more details about the course, I kind of want to share my story with you, what led to this something big that I've created, what led to it, and why I did it. So it really can go back to my first couple years as a nurse, as a staff nurse. Like a lot of other staff nurses, I felt underpaid and underappreciated. Took about 2 years to get to that point, but once I did, I knew that I wanted to try travel nursing. However, with like most travel nurses, you have lots of uncertainties, fears, and tons of questions. For me, I had absolutely no clue what questions to even ask or who to ask. I just knew I wanted to be a travel nurse. So I did what I think most other travel nurses do. I did some research. And with that research, I spent hours. I was writing things down. I was talking to recruiters. I was asking whatever questions I thought I needed to ask. However, looking back at it now, all those recruiters were just using me. They were sending me awful pay packages. I actually put in my 2 weeks notice before I even found my first contract. And I sat at home for about 5 weeks before I found my first contract. I was talking to lots and lots of recruiters. One recruiter found me a contract in the city that I wanted to go to, but the pay package she offered me was so bad I didn't even know it, and I was considering accepting it. It was one of the worst pay packages I have seen up to today. So it was absolutely awful. I actually wrote it down on a notepad and found it a couple years later and started laughing. Thankfully, I didn't accept it. Fast forward a little bit, I found a recruiter. He was super nice, very helpful, found me the contract in the city I wanted to go to. I wasn't very flexible for my first contract. I only wanted to go to one city, which was one of the things that made it very hard for me. So like I said, I found this nice, hardworking recruiter, got me the contract that no one else could get. I actually extended. I asked for a raise for the extension. He did not give it to me, which I made some mistakes for how I did that. in that extension, there was another travel nurse that actually come to work with me or work at this same hospital, and we started talking about pay, and I found out he was making $400 to $500 more per week than I was. I had already worked over 13 weeks at this contract, and this guy comes in and he's making $400 to $500 more than me. I was devastated. I felt defeated. I was mad. I called my recruiter, and of course he just kind of blew it off, gave me some excuse. I don't even remember what it was, but he told me, I think he almost told me that the other travel nurse probably wasn't telling me the truth. Which I know was kind of him just skirting around the issue at the time, but I still was devastated. All I could think about was how much $400 to $500 per week times 26 weeks equaled up to be. That's over $10,000 that I lost in potential income just in the first 6 months of travel nursing. So during that time, those last few weeks, I was kind of devastated. I knew something had to change. I had to figure something out. I could not keep doing this. I could not keep losing $400 to $500 of potential income every week. So I kind of had a moment, and that moment hit me when I was car shopping during that kind of same time period. And what I did is I realized that the car sales industry and the recruiting industry are very similar. I started thinking about it like the recruiting agency and the car dealership are kind of the same. And then your car salesman and your recruiter are kind of the same. And then in the same scenario, the travel nurse and the car buyer is the same. And the car is kind of like the same as the contract. But what I realized is that when I'm car shopping, I was looking for a good deal on a good car. But when I was searching for a contract, I was looking for a good recruiter with a good agency. And I kind of started thinking like, maybe this isn't right. Because what if I was car shopping and I was looking for a good dealership or a good car salesman? Like, yes, that can make things better, but it doesn't guarantee you'll have a good car, get a good deal on a good car. The goal is to find a good deal on a good car. It's the same as a travel nurse. Your goal is to find a good paying contract, a good pay rate with a good contract. So that's when things kind of started clicking. That was the first change, and the biggest change that really helped me was that I started looking for good contracts instead of good agencies and recruiters. So if you've ever heard me say, I say it all the time, I said it just yesterday or maybe even today in a comment, I said search for good contracts, not good recruiters and agencies. If you have seen that comment or one of my comments or posts down below, comment and let me know if you have seen it. So I just like to see how many people have actually seen me comment that, because like I said, I think it is one of the biggest tips I can give you as a travel nurse. Next contract, I'm kind of going to speed through the rest of this story. I started changing things up. My next contract, I made more money. I still did not make the most. I still was making some mistakes. I was really struggling with that nurse and recruiter relationship. I guess the mindset, trying to figure out, where I am, should I trust them, should I not? So I made more money. I did not get lowballed as bad, but I still was not the highest paid travel nurse. Fast forward about 2-3 years later, I have learned a lot since then. I have learned, what questions to ask recruiters, when to ask it, and then when to turn around and put their answers against them to make an extra $50 or $100 a week. And this is all stuff I have just learned by trial and error. I can only imagine if I'd have known all this when I first started, how much money it would have saved me. I actually estimate during my first years at Travel Nurse that I lost over $15,000 of potential income just because I was making costly mistakes. I was doing it by trial and error. So with all that being said, everything that I've learned and the mistakes I've learned to avoid, it has really helped me as a travel nurse. I am now usually one of the top paid travel nurses at every contract, or the top paid. And let me tell you, I mean, $100 extra a week, $200 extra, $300, or avoiding that $500 a week lowball offer can really be life changing. I mean, $500 extra a week, that's crazy. That's over $2,000 a month. That's $25,000 a year. I mean, how could $25,000 a year help you? So even if it's $100 a week, that equals up to over $5,000 a year. And I'm an investor. I'm automatically thinking that almost maxes out your IRA for each year. They're just making $100 more per week. So, and of course, through the IRA, if you max it out every year, you could potentially end up with a couple $1 million, depending on your age and how long you leave it invested. So of course, those are just things I think about since I'm so financially motivated. But with all that being said, I wanted to create something that would really help new travel nurses. I want to help them not make the mistakes I made, not have to go through that trial and error period and lose that $15,000 of potential income like I did. So what I have done, and I have created a digital course, and this digital course walks you through everything I have learned over the past 4 to 5 years as a travel nurse, the mistakes I've made, how to avoid them, how to find contracts, how to talk to recruiters, how to ask for more money, how to know what is a good contract, what is not a good contract. There is so much in this course. It's packed with value, and I'm actually going to go over each section in just a minute, so don't go away quite yet. And also at the end of this, I'm going to make an offer for everyone, so definitely stick around to the end. So let's see here. So the course, like I said, it walks you through the whole entire process. I've broke it down into sections. Section 1 talks about the travel nurse industry and the flow of money. It talks about how money flows from the agency to the hospital to the travel nurse, and then what happens to the money throughout that process, and why the agency has to take a certain percentage of that bill rate. It also explains what a bill rate is, what the pay package is, the master contract, all those terms that you sometimes hear and you might not know what exactly they are. In this section, I also discuss the MSP and vendor and what the benefits are of working with them. Section 2 talks about how your recruiter is paid and what motivates your recruiter. This is very important, especially when you're negotiating. You want to understand why your recruiter is telling you this when you really want to do this. You need to understand that maybe they're more motivated to get you to go here, to think this, versus this is what's going to really benefit you. So very helpful section. Section 3 is what I consider the 3 most important keys to negotiating. And it starts out with your mindset, doing due diligence, and walking away. It explains all 3 of those, the importance of them, and how they can benefit you. Section 4 talks about leverage, how to maximize your leverage, and how to position yourself and how to use your leverage to negotiate to get more pay. Section 5 is the biggest section of all. The first 4 sections was kind of it was informing you of how things work, what is important, what is not. Section 5 puts a lot of that together, and it walks you through step by step the exact process that I have used for the past 3 to 4 years to negotiate contracts, or from finding a contract all the way to negotiating a contract. And then it walks you through everything, what questions to ask, ask, what to look for, when to ask questions, what to say to recruiters, stuff like that. It also lists some of my favorite Facebook travel nurse job groups. If you have insurance from somewhere other than the agency, I explain how to ask for more pay if you don't use their insurance. And it also has a couple videos showing you how to use the GSA website and GSA app to see if your stipends are maxed out. Section 6 talks about how to negotiate an extension raise for when you extend your contract. You pretty much should always, not always, but almost always get an extension raise when you extend your contract. And if you kind of have to play your cards right. If your recruiter is not fully trustworthy or having your best interest in mind, you might not always get it if you don't play your cards right. So definitely some good tips there that could possibly help you make an extra 50 to 100, maybe more per week when you extend. And section 7 is the final section, and it lists some what I call schemes to avoid. Sometimes recruiters will ask you questions that they claim will help you and help them, but really and truly it's more for them just to kind of figure out what's the lowest you will accept, or something along that line. So some schemes to avoid there. There's also a list of negotiating tips. Some of them were mentioned in the course, some of them were not, but definitely something to look over every now and then, just to kind of remind you, like, I need to be looking out for this, or I should do this, or maybe I should ask this question then. So that pretty much sums up the course. I have a couple more ideas to add to it. So I would actually like to add a section about working as a travel nurse payer. So if you are a travel nurse payer and would like more information on that and how to use that as leverage, comment below, let me know you'd be interested in it, and maybe I will go ahead and add that section. So now let's talk about how to get access to the course. The course is on a platform called Teachable. I created the course there. They have an app and a website, so you can access it from a computer or your phone. It's very easy to use. The course is self-paced, meaning you can stop and start whenever you please. You get access to it for life. It takes about 2 to 3 hours to go through the course. Most of it is written content with some videos thrown in the middle of it as well, short videos. I don't know if I've said this, but you get access to it for life once you get access to the course. So the course does cost $199. However, since I did not follow through on my promise, I'm kind of late on getting all this information out to everybody. I want to offer a discount on the course for the rest of this week. There is a discount code. It is TRAVEL, that is capital T, all caps actually, and it's TRAVEL, TRAVEL is the discount code. You can use it on the checkout page, and it will drop the cost from $199 to $99. And again, that will give you access to it for life, plus anything I add to it in the future. So that is pretty much it. I'm going to post the link in the description or in the comments, or if you don't see it, comment below and just say link, and I will send you the link. So I really hope this helps. I truly believe in this process. I've used it over and over for the past 3 to 4 years, and it has truly helped me make thousands more dollars. So I think it will help out a lot of other travel nurses as well. So I hope to see y'all soon.